super windy. Sorry about the wind. Seeing how I'm kind of held up on everything, Holly really simplified the bed a lot, and she helps balance me out because I'm all gung-ho to build something. She goes, let's just get a frame. Works great. So for the rest of this day, you'll be seeing this after the last vlog. I'm gonna be looking at the electrical. We're gonna be hooking this up to solar. I've started 3 solar projects on this place and haven't finished any of them. I'm gonna put a solar pole here, out here somewhere, and then run it over. I'm gonna try to find some kind of box that we can slide under the camper to put batteries in, and then we'll run the wiring to them. But this is an electrician's nightmare. The mice have eaten the wiring in this thing. If you let anything sit out here, mice get into it, rats get into it. But this is just a nightmare. I don't really think I need this one anymore. I may take it off. There's old breakers in here. It has a, this is a 12 volt setup. So I'm gonna take this panel off. We're gonna be just running 110. The way that campers are set up, they actually are a 220 setup. So you either have a 30 amp or 50 amp setup. And this one's set up actually with a 30 amp down to a 110. And I could run it like that, but I want to change it over to just a 110 setup. So they actually go into the breaker box and split it. When you run a 30 amp and you've got 50 amp service, you go down to a 30 amp, you can only use some of the things in there. There is an electric water heater in here, so I may have to wire it separately and plug it into the generator separately. But I'm gonna break into this box and we're gonna find out what's in there. It's gonna take me just a second. All right, I've got the breaker face off of there, and it's no better inside there. What a mess. I am going to do my best to figure it all out. I'm pretty sure this breaker over here is what powers the rest of the box, and they're running 110 off of the side of it. I'm pretty sure this one goes to our water heater, and I'm trying to see if it is a 110 or 220. I'm thinking it's a 110 by the looks of it. We've got a ground going here, and then we've got another ground right here in this box. So that's just a 110, so I can definitely kind of fix that. That's why they added this box, was to do the 110. I'm not sure what this cord goes to. I'm thinking not much. I think it probably used to go to the furnace because there's nothing that heavy in here. But I'm going to change everything over to 110. Everything in here is 110. What we've got here, this is the cable coming in. I know this is a mess. I'll try to explain it to you as best I can. This is our hot wire coming in, and it goes to one side of this breaker panel. The white goes to the other side of it. No, it's just hooked up 110. It's already hooked up 110. So this one's in there only to service this one, and this one here just runs to this box. Wonder why they did that. I don't know. Well, I'm going to dive a little bit more into it, try to clean this box up a little bit, see if I can make heads or tails of it. So I pulled this mess out of there. It was kind of dangerous looking anyway. It used to be right there on that wall. So far it's all just a 110. No 220 hookups here at all. This box is serviced from this box. This is the size that it really needs. I'm gonna have to go in here and take a look at this box and make sure we don't have a 220 split in there. Folks, this is the box I was telling you about. I'm gonna take the face off of it and see what it looks like. So this is that big heavy wire coming in. You can see it too good. And you can see these are both running here. This red wire, if it's not hooked to the power side out there, that's going to cause a problem, because then you're going to have a direct ground on your block and you're going to blow something. The green is ground, it's there. All the white wires that are running out look okay on this side, but if this red wire, and I didn't notice if it was or not, if it's not connected to the 110 side out there, that could be a problem. So let's go out there and take a look at that red wire and see where it's connected. Sure if you can see that or not. That red wire is connected to this bottom plate. That's where the power comes into. And it runs over here. So both sides that's powered, but they're all coming off of the same breaker. So whether you have, you know, a 30 amp or even a 15 amp breaker, you've only got that much power. Everything is running off of it. Now for the most part it's lights and plugs, but still we're gonna have to be careful on what we run in there for the power that we're going to be having. Everything's wired off of, it's just like wiring everything in there off of a extension cord. A little bit better because it's maybe an upgrade to wiring. That is, if the mice haven't eaten into it, we're going to have to check that out. But still, you're only limited to what you're limited to. Whether it be 15 amp, 20 amp, 30 amp, whatever amperage you have, that's all the power that you have. So whatever our generator's putting out of one plug is where our problem is going to come from. So I'm going to have, for the most part, just the lights and everything run off of our inverter and our battery and our solar. The water heater will run off of the generator. So I'm going to unwire the water heater from the box and put a plug on it, and then we can just plug it straight up, run it when we want to heat water up. So I got my line out here. This is going to be for the water heater. That will be by itself. When I go to town, I'll get just a 110 plug. I'll get two of those, one for this one and one for this one. I think the only reason they had this hooked up was because they didn't have any other plug, I'm thinking. So this used it, and it was bare, so I think I can just put some tape on this one. I want to cut it back and find out, make sure it's okay. Maybe put some tape on that one and I think it'll be okay. Just looking and inspecting. I'm to another spot where I've got to go shopping. Got my ground wires here. That right there is 12 volt. This hooks to the 12 volt. So we'll run up a 12 volt block and mount it in there somewhere. That'll do the 12 volt lights, which probably all we'll use. I believe this is a ground also. Basically all this box is doing is connecting this box to this box now. That's basically it. I could disconnect this one and actually do away with this. I could just put a plug on this one and wire the red and black together and just do away with this box. That would be totally okay. And in fact, that may be what I do. I'll just wire the black and the red together. That's basically what's going on anyway. There's not really any need for it. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're seeing me engineer on the fly. And that's going to clear up some space maybe for the charge controller, put the inverter over here. Yeah, that's the plan right there. This is not really needful, because basically all you're doing is connecting this to this. And this is more than enough wire here to hook into. All right, so this is the main cable that used to be a 220 hookup for this box. Used to be a 50 amp service by the look of it. And I've eliminated everything. And green is ground, white is neutral, black is hot, red is hot. That's the way a 220 works. I can actually hook this wire in, patch in a split wire, run a hot 110, and I can plug it into two different sides of my generator or my inverter. And then of course green will be ground. So I may put a couple blocks. I may find a smaller box to make a junction, or I may just run straight in there with some wire. But at any rate, I'm eliminating this box. It's going to give me a lot more room in here, and it's not all cluttered up. I do want to make a 12 volt panel in here somewhere where I can hook 12 volt stuff into it, like a water pump and that sort of thing. But cleared it up, got a lot more room in here. I got access to my water in here. I did find that needs to be fixed. Everything's looking good. So I'm gonna get this box took off there, and then I've got to go to town and get some plug-ins. As my wife says, shopping. All right, folks. Okay, change of plans, change of plans. My mind's always working. I had a couple of these big number 10. These are 10-2 to the ground. They come off of power blocks, and they were used to charge equipment. So I cut these two off. I'm going to take this one out of here. I'm going to wire these two in. Then I can plug them into the inverter, plug them into the generator, do whatever I need to do. So that's going to simplify things a ton more. The wind is still blowing, but I have taken that wire out, got this box out, all this mess here, and I took those two plugs and I've got them wired into here. I'm going to take you inside and show you the wiring on the inside. I also fixed this. This is a ground rod or ground wire. It goes down and grounds to the frame of the trailer. Okay, so here's those two cords that are outside. They're in here. So I've got my neutrals wired into the neutral panel, grounds wired into the ground panel, and my blacks wired into the breakers. So this is two different plugs. So I can plug it in to each side of my generator. I have a 60 amp service generator. So I can plug in one side and the other side, and I've got 30 amps on each side. I hope these breakers are good. Not sure this kind can be found anymore. On this side you have 20 amps. Now I can take and I can hook up to the generator, which I'm fixing to do. We can test out the lights, see if we have any other problems anywhere in the camper. I can plug in one side, check, see what it is. Maybe hook up a drill or something to it. Hook in the other side, see what it is. Got them both plugged in here, but I'm only going to turn on one side at a time. I'm going to take this Sawzall in, plug it into outlets, see which ones work, which ones don't, and hopefully we don't see no sparks fly. So I'm going to turn on this breaker. I don't know if that was a good breaker or not. And then I'm going to turn on this side. Let's see if we've got lights. Got lights there. We've got lights up there. Got a light here, but not over here. Maybe a bulb. I think this one is the outside light. Not sure what these two lights do. These two switches here. Maybe plugs. 110. That one's not working. I think these are battery back here. Pretty sure. I had those hooked up before. So those are not working. That one's not on that circuit. Or the wires are chewed completely in two. Like I said, don't have no fire yet. No plugs. Usually they have lights and then plugs. So nothing. Nothing. Let's see. Usually it's lights and plugs. There's another one over here. Lights are on one side, plugs are on the other, I believe. Which is good. Yeah. Try this one. This is where the refrigerator plugs in at. Nothing. So, I think my assumptions are right. Sorry about the shaky camera work, guys. Yeah. No power to them. Now, let's see. This light, turn on that light up there. This one here, I think is 12 volt. So, that plug would probably work. Okay, we know that that's on that circuit. Turn this one on. And let's go see if we got lights on the other side. No lights. That does nothing in here. Got nothing there. I don't know if I'm smelling anything burn or not. There's light bulbs. Nothing's working. They may be blowed. We haven't tripped a breaker. Let's see. Oh, it would probably help if we turned on the breaker, huh? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got light. I'm not smelling any smoke. All right. You can see over here. Not sure what those do. Got a light on right there. Got a light on right there. Let's try some more plugs. That one works. That one works. Well, guys, it ain't burning down. It don't mean there ain't a short somewhere. We got power. You can't beat that. So I'm gonna take and disconnect it, put everything back together and call it a day. I still got to get a plug for the water heater to see if it works. I'm not smelling anything burning. I'm not smelling any wires burning. Everything looks good. Alright guys, that puts another one in the books. I'm glad I got that kind of sorted out, kind of cleaned that out. All that stuff out there is going to be resources that I'll have to put somewhere. I'm running out of space. But till next time, pray hard, stay strong, ride on.